So there are a few announcements. There will be a weekend, a live weekend in Holland, in Amsterdam, but it's more for the Dutch people. We decided to do it in Dutch. So if you're Dutch, you can still come to the meeting in Amsterdam. The more details are on the website. And the residential, there will be a residential in Germany, the south of Germany, and the dates were not so clear yet, but now it's confirmed. It's 12 till 16 June. So there's already a booking form on the website, so you're invited to the residential. It's a really nice place, so please look at the website. Okay. And there's also, I always say that there's a possibility to donate, to give me a lot of money. No, just to donate. It would be nice, and just like that.
Next weekend, only on Friday, not on Saturday.
Oh yeah, next week there's only a Zoom meeting on Friday evening. I'm not doing a Zoom meeting on Saturday, and there will be a new planning of new Zoom meetings, but I'm doing that this weekend. So that will be also on my website. So next week on Saturday there will be no Zoom meeting. Okay. This is it. This is everything. This is everything. It's very, very tiny and very normal and very obvious also, in a way. But we are so used to abstract everything, and that's so quickly done. And it's not that we are doing that. It's like that's working like that. There's no me. There's no you. So everything is going by itself. There's no free will or choice, because there's no me. So everything is already going by itself. There's never been a decision or things done by you. And it doesn't matter if there's seems to be me or not me. It's still things are happening by itself. So there's no choice. There's no doing. It seems there's doing, and there's me deciding or me having thoughts. But there's no me. There's no one. There's only what apparently is happening. This is an appearance. Nothing is real. Nothing is real. There seems to be a table and it seems to be solid. But it's an appearance of nothing being everything. It's everything. Everything means it's just this or a hand, or there's nothing excluded. There's nothing excluded. When there's living in the story, then this is right and this is wrong, and there's a comparing of what's better than that. This is wrong, this is not good. And then there's this message, could say that, and saying like there's nothing right or wrong. There can be pain or anger or tables or streets, but there's no one. Even the body seems so real, and I'm in this body and things are happening to me. And then there's hearing, the body isn't even real. It's an appearance. When it's only what is seen, what is felt, what is heard, and there's no meaning in anything. That's the brain that can abstract everything and can make something of it, naming it, having an image. It's so quick. It seems so normal. It's so embodied, and all those thoughts and ideas about what's going on. There's no meaning in anything. So there can be thoughts. It doesn't matter what is happening. It's not saying that to yourself. That seems to be a new concept of non-duality thinking or talking. It's everything. So there's also thoughts can be there, can be thinking, oh, but this is me thinking. How can I get rid of that? Then that's what's happening. There's nothing wrong or right. Can be frustrating, but even the frustrating is it. Me is not something that's real and really inside the body or a center or something that can be felt like a tension or something, and then feeling or thinking that's the me. There's already no me. But me is that, you could say that's that thought or belief there's something wrong. And it should be, it could be or should be different. That's it. It's a misunderstanding, but it's so embodied and so seems so normal, and look around and it's like it's the normal way of thinking that there's something wrong and we should make it right. And then hearing there's nothing right or wrong, and that it's everything. It's completely out of the story. It has nothing to do with what's going on. So there's also nothing, the circumstances are not the cause of anything. When there's me, there's living in time and there's distance. There is no time. Time is a construct. Distance is also part of that abstracting. There's no distance. It's what is. And it doesn't mean the brain, when there's no me, then the brain cannot abstract anymore. Still, abstracting can happen, but it has no meaning. And there's no time. So when there's no time, there's no before, there's no after. So there are no consequences. That's huge. We're so living in consequences. And when I do this, that will be that. Or when I don't do this, then everything goes wrong, or all that. Nothing is done by you. It's apparently happening. It's happening by itself. There's no one doing that. It never was. So there's also no guilt, of course, then. There's no life of, no, say, Roes. There's no life of Roes. There's that face, maybe a hand or a table. It's not about, life is not about individuals. Life doesn't see individuals. It's everything, just chaotic hands, streets. What is seen, what is felt. That's it. But it's not felt by someone. That's strange, because we're so into, I'm feeling it, so it's me that is feeling it. It can be felt, just like that. There's already no one, so there's no need to look for anything. This going nowhere, this meeting is also going nowhere. There's no intention to make things clear, or it's just what's coming out. It's just what's being said. That's it. We can talk about this, and you can say whatever you want to ask or say, or maybe share this meeting, and then we see what's happening. Thought already there was something going on. A message, right? Hi Rose. I wrote to you about the evil things made by Hamas last week. How can freedom cause such evil actions? It's everything, and it's an appearance. So there can be pain, and there can be, there's no story. We're living in time, so there's time and stories. There can be an everything. It doesn't mean it's nice or it's okay or something like that. It's what it is. There's no evil, but there's also no good. It's what it is. And there's no world, so there's no story about what's going on outside or outside in the world. or next in the next place. There's no outside. So there can be no house. There can be a destruction of the house. And that's what's happening. And I don't say it is right or it's or it's wrong. It's what's happening. It's not happening to you. It's what is happening. So there's no evil or no good or no God. That's a construct. It's just a description. This has nothing to do with doing the right thing or healing something. It's a description of what's going on. That's it. Nothing more than that. There's no knowing. There's no knowing of what's going on or what's the right thing or wisdom or truth or all that. And saying there's no real world. Nothing is real. That's we are so into everything is real and solid and it's mine and it's yours and all that. And then hearing, no, there's no mine, there's no yours, there's only what is. And it's not happening to you. It's apparently happening. Nothing is real. Nothing is solid. It seems solid when there's touching maybe, but that's only a sensation for no one. This is so out of the story. It has nothing to do with circumstances. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with nice or awful. It's what it is. I'm sorry to write it, but there was rape and beheading of babies. Yeah. There can be information about that. Anything can happen. I don't know why. There's no why. There can be pain. Yeah, of course. This is not saying something about the world. It's so quick that there seems to be the world and my life and what's happening to me or my son of mine. There's no son. It's what's happening. So it's what is. That's when there's no time and when there's no me. That's completely, there's no story at all. There's only what is. When there's a story, there's continuation, and this is my life, and in my life there's my house and my children and my husband and all that. And this is completely out of that story. There's nothing happening. There's only an appearance of things that's going on, like bodies and maybe feelings. But there's no continuation. There's no husband. When they're seeing a body, then that body is there. There's no relation because there's no one. There's no one. There's no one there, no one. It's not even there because it's also no distance. This is crazy. This is so completely different as what we normally think in the story, because we think in time, we think in distance, we think in I'm here, they are there, I have a relation and there's something related and this is going on. There's information about the world, so it's really happening. And then there's hearing, no, there's nothing happening. It's only an appearance. It's completely out of the story and not saying anything about right and wrong. There is no right and wrong. There can be pain, of course. But there's pain, and in the same time, it's not. So nothing is happening. It's great. This can't be understood in that sense. Maybe there can be an understanding, but not even an understanding doesn't make things real or good or all right. It's not about all right. Oh, Get a hand. It's that. That's the freedom. That there are no circumstances. That nothing is causing anything else. There are no consequences. There's only what's happening, and that's even apparently happening. So, oh, there's somebody saying, "I like your direct, no nonsense way of explaining, Rose." Oh God, thank you. Wow. Mm. There's also no Rose. That's also crazy. We're so into this is my life, this is my body. Inside the body, there can be pain or blood or things like that, and that's awful and all that. There's no Rose. There's no life of Rose. Asking things sometimes, that people sometimes asking about how I do things and all how that's going on. It's just a story. It's a story like other stories. They're not real. And then there's no going nowhere because there's nothing in that. It can be silly and forgetting and normal. It's very normal. And it's not the life of Rose. There's no time. And still in the story there's time. So that's so crazy. But nothing is seen as real. It's not seen. It's not about seeing either. It's a completely loose, how do you say that? It's like without, it's chaos. We think, oh, I'm here. We see borders, like the body is a border, that's and there's something over there. And this house, this is mine, and this is my husband and my children, or all that. And that's completely out of the window. There's no my, there's no one. So there's nothing about mine or yours. There's what's seen. Maybe they're seen a little children. Then that's what's happening. But when they are not there, there's nothing existing. There's no continuation. When the children, we think like the children are at school and doing things. It's an abstraction of what's going on. There are no children then. It's very literally, like really little children, like 1 year or something like that. When you're behind the chair, you don't exist. It's not there anymore. So that's like that. It's completely free already. But when there's growing, there can be contractions and nothing's going on. And then the brain can abstract. And then suddenly, like a little child, that there's abstraction, and then suddenly you see somebody outside. And there's like, oh, there's an outside, and also like here and there, and all that is starting, and maybe not the whole time, but that's developing in the story. So there's abstracting everything, and then the whole thing is going on, like separation, and it's feeling like there's a loss of something or something going wrong, and that's underneath. There's always something going on, like there's something wrong. I should make it right. There's what is going on. This is right. This is wrong. Oh, that's underneath everything. So it's colored by that. That seeing in the world, it's always about right and wrong. Everything is about right and wrong. And some people, this is right, this is right, and all that. That's when there's living in separation. There's such a coloring of what's going on by all those emotions and beliefs and constructs. So that so seems so the normal way. And then there's hearing this. There's no right and wrong. It's a construct. It's part of that feeling that there's separation. There is no separation. Can seem like that, and it's really convincing and experiencing that. And still they're saying there's no separation. There's already no separation. It's what it is. Can be anything, can be pain, can be anything, everything. This is not talking about how to heal and to feel nice. It's not about feeling nice. It's what it is. Any feeling. Does it mean there's all day here, like, oh, like that? No, of course not. It's what it is. So there can be any feeling, but it's not a feeling of Rose. There can be feelings passing like clouds or flies. They're just flies going. Not saying it's my fly. No, it's just flies.
Someone has opened the mic.
Oh yeah, please, please, when there's somebody else talking, please close your mute your microphone. So because there's always a little bit of noise. Yeah. When you want to say something, you can open your microphone by yourself. Just do it, and then there's talking, but there's no you. But and still there's unmuting. You can unmute yourself. Um, there's somebody saying this is not compassion. What you wrote just now. It's what is meant by compassion. Compassion can there are different ideas about compassion. Compassion, we think that it's about being nice of people and that. But there can also be compassion about seeing that there's no one. That's for me, it's like that's real compassion, that there's not seeing anyone and there's nothing right or wrong. It's not real. There's nothing happening and there's not seeing anyone. So there's no intention. Like, so for me, it's like, wow, that's really unconditional love. There are no conditions. When there's love, there's no conditions about anything. It's unconditional. It has nothing to do with doing the right thing or being nice to people. No.
Hanifa wants to say something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Please go.
Can you hear me?
No, it's very soft. You can make it.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Just start then.
Yeah. Is it better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
That's better.
A lot of noise. Doesn't matter. It's better. Yeah.
Hi
Hi.
everyone. Hi Rose. I'm glad to be here.
Hi.
So it seems that there are some questions arising this morning here.
Yeah.
Maybe you have said that already, but it's still a story. But I was quite interested in your story. I mean, I guess that I heard that you participated to some Tony Parsons, I guess, meeting. So have you? And I know that it's still a story, but can you just tell me how you just? It's not realized. I know that the verbs are not correct, but how you realized that actually there was no me and so on. I would like to hear, listen to your story just a little.
Yeah. Well, it's not a big. It's no big story. There was already. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was sitting in the sauna. It's just a story. It was sitting in the sauna. There was no special place, and then there was and I was thinking. I was always into spiritual things, so looking at myself and being busy with what I feel and all that. And then suddenly that stopped, and it was so clear, like, oh, and everything was so clear, and then that fell away too. And then there was something going on, like, oh, that I think at that moment it was very clear there's no me, and And I was walking outside, and then it was like nothing changed. It was nothing changing. It was like, oh, it's what's happening. So that was already the case. So in that sense, there was a little moment, a little like disappointment, because I had a big thing about, oh, when everything is falling away, that will be special, or God, and maybe people see it, or all that. And it was like, oh, of course, yeah. So it was no big deal at all. And it was also very normal, and like, oh, but that was already the case. How could I not see it? A bit like that. And then after that, then I was always thinking about that's tension. That for me, it was here in the chest. I thought me is here in the chest, and there's some tension there. And that was, I think it was gone. I don't know. But after a while, that tension came back. So I thought, oh my God, the me is back again. And how can I do that? But those thoughts came and they fell away. There was nothing doing with that. But it wasn't noticed. It's a strange story. It wasn't noticed that I wasn't doing any, or there was not doing something with those thoughts, grasping it or going on with that. They just fell away. So I forgot, you could say that. And then after a while, that it's the same thoughts came back. So that was the normal way of thinking about myself. Like, oh, what's going on? And that you could say now, like the brain was still in that loop of looking at yourself, but there was nothing going on like grasping it. But the strange thing was for me in that moment, I didn't know, how do I say that? There was no awareness, because there was just no noticing of what's going on. So that those thoughts came, and there was nothing done with it, and so they fell away, or I forgot. And then after a while, that didn't arise either. But there was nothing about sure. I was talking about yesterday, but it was not, oh, there's no me anymore, or doubt. No, there was nothing going on about that. It was just normal life, without all that being busy with that. But the strange thing was, it was so normal. I forgot. I was always busy with that. So it's very normal and I can imagine that maybe people, there's falling away there, and then it's not even noticed, and they go on. They never heard of non-duality at all, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's very normal. Yeah.
And actually, I guess that there is still, of course, well, not of course, but I still feel the me here, I guess. Can you hear me, Rose? Is it okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But there is a kind of, I don't know how I could say, a sense that nothing lasts, life is like the clouds. So when you draw your attention and you think about it, even if there is no thinking, blah, 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 it's it's obvious that we cannot grasp anything because it's changing all the time. So there is a kind of, this is why I'm interested in what you are saying, and all such communications. It's quite new for me, but it makes so sense. Nothing lasts, and you cannot grasp the past or the second before. So everything is changing all the time, and it makes so sense. What you are saying is that it's all what happening. And yesterday I was just trying to move my hands, and it was also obvious that the mind cannot actually lead, the movement of the hands. It's not possible, it's so
Yeah.
there is a kind of resonance, okay,
Yeah.
of this communication.
Yeah.
The question I had also for you, I guess that again we have asked you that thousand of times. What about your relationship? I don't know if you have a husband, children. So did they notice difference? Because this is something here which is, of course, there are questions about this and maybe some fear.
Mm. No, there's no change. And maybe there's, I don't know. I'm not busy with that also. But it's that my husband, I was talking with him. So there can be, but you have to ask him because that's so, there's no comparing. There can be a before in the mind or normally in life, and a before and now. Well, I can't remember, so I don't know if there's a difference. I don't know. It's just what is. So there's nothing going on about before, and there are no relations. We think they're a relation and there's something, I'm here and the husband or children. When they're not around, there's no children. There's nothing busy with them. It's just no children. There are no children. Where are the children? There's the cupboard or a table. It's only that. But it's this is not a way of looking or things like that. Or it's so literally and that the normal, where's children? Where is that? I just see this body for a part of that, and that's it. It's very literally seeing, feeling, that's it. And when it's not in the room, you could say, then it's only an imagination that they are somewhere or they're still there. So there are no relations. There's no one. So there's no one in children or in other individuals. There are no individuals. So it's you. So there's somebody coming in, and there can be safe. Hey, hello. There's recognizing, and then it's new. And there can be a response.
Yeah. So what you are saying, sorry. So what you are saying is that nobody from your nobody. Yeah, there is nobody, but nobody from your close family told Rose, even if there is no Rose, hey, there is something here going on. I mean, you have changed or never. They have not.
No.
I'm not talking about,
Yeah.
the others.
Maybe the husband, because when my husband, I'm talking with him about what's going on. But no, the children and friends, no. I'm not talking about it. There's the first year, I think it's already like 3 years, I don't know, after that moment in the sauna. Just a story. I didn't talk about that at all. I didn't know what to say, how to say. I didn't know. There's a lot of noise. But so with friends also. But it's very normal. It's very normal. There's not going into right and wrong. That can be felt. Sometimes it's felt that there's nothing going on. Whatever somebody is doing or talking about, there's nothing going on about right and wrong. No. It's unconditional. So that's why this is energetic. The kind of seeing can be a seeing of a very, very much understanding and seeing and clarity about how this is going. But that's in a way superficial because this is energetic. That has nothing to do with seeing it. It's energetic. Everything is lost. Everything is lost. And then, then the whole thing about right and wrong is also lost. How can I say it's right or wrong? It's weird. It's an idea. So that's lost. So that can be felt, maybe, but I'm not talking about. There's nothing going on with. I'm not talking about that with friends or so, children. No, we talk about other things. And it doesn't matter. The sharing, you could say, the sharing is not in the words, but in something else, and that's also in these meetings. There can be an understanding, maybe, or busy with trying to understand what's being said. But underneath, there's something else going on. Because that thing about that there's nothing right or wrong. That's in the whole meeting, that energy is there. So it's not like energy is there, but it's different to say. But there's nothing going on about right and wrong. So and that's not addressing to somebody. There's no relation. That all that it's underneath the words. It can be felt. there can be a recognition, but it can be like a killer. It killing concepts, something like that. I'm not doing that, but that can be done.
Yeah, because actually, all the beliefs fall away, all the beliefs, and everything is. So how could that be? How could there be a right and wrong if everything
Yeah,
is? I mean,
yeah, 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 yeah.
it happens. It happens, so it is. So,
Yeah, but
and the
that
last
feeling
question.
of,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, but that feeling of right and wrong
No,
is
go
so
ahead.
embodied. There can be a knowing, but that's so embodied, so it's subtly in everything. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last question I wanted to ask you um, is there any, when there is this kind of, again, give up, or I don't know or maybe, I don't know what's the name of that.
Mm.
Because is the ambition, could that fall away? I mean, somebody has a job, I've got a job, like a lot of people. Uh, According to all the people you have met and so on, when there is this kind of, again, of give up, or I don't know, and just realize what it is actually, because it's what it is, and just what's happening. Um, do people continue with their position, with their jobs, and especially, running for this, especially when they have, kind of high position. Um, According to what you have heard, for them, does it make sense, to continue if actually there is no right, wrong, and good, not good, blah blah blah, and or have you noticed that actually people just decide to give up those, position, and because it's no more important, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, but there's no one. There's no one to decide. So there's things going on. No, what I hear, but that's not for for everything. But there can be going on in the job, but then there's a loss of a lot of drive or ambition, or maybe things going on. But it makes it much more. There can be like, like, oh, this is really, there's no, it's very much abstracting, and a lot of things going on about which makes it very complicated in meetings or all that. And there can be much more like, oh, it's like that and that's it, or it's something like that. So there's, in that sense, there can be a change, but it doesn't need to be in another position or other work. There can be losing what here happened. I was a therapist, and people didn't come anymore. After, already before that, there was a loss of clients. So I didn't want that. It just happened like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, there can be anything. It's so different, and there can be having a shop and with vegetables and just going on. What is the difference? It's just that. Maybe not so busy more anymore, like frightened that I have enough money. Maybe that's lost, but for the rest, it's going on. It's very practical and normal. So a life is everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. There can be also, when there's a therapist, there can be the way the clients are coming, that can change. I don't know. It's so different. It's different. You don't know. It's for everybody. It's always, you can't say what will happen.
Yes, and as you said already, there is no free will. Oh,
No,
this is huge. No free
that's
will.
huge.
You do not decide of anything. And
No. No, that's the fear of me. Like, oh, I'm not existing. So and there are a lot of ideas about, oh, when I'm not when I lose control, then maybe everything's going wrong, or I'm not existing. That's like a blank, and then what will happen then, and all those ideas and fears about what's going on, because we can't imagine what that will be, that when there's no me. So there can be a lot of fear. There can also be a relaxation, because can be like, because it feels like, oh my God, I don't have to do so much anymore. Or there's so many things. It's so different about what's going on. But you can't imagine what it is. And it's, in a way, it's tiny. That when there's, it's that, when everything is lost, it's just like, oh, like that. It's just very, not special at all. But in the same time, it's huge because all that fussing, like, oh my God, and how did I do this? And do I do the right thing? And all that, that isn't working anymore or doesn't come up. And it's that can be also, and that's maybe strange to hear. I wasn't expecting that. It's like there can be what I think it's 10 years ago or 9, 10, I don't know, something like that. There's a difference when when I see the meetings from there and I see it here because I can't feel it, but when I see it on you, then there's a difference. There's more a relaxation there. So even concepts can fall away without noticing because there's nothing going on. But that embodiment, that can be very strong, and then that can take some time. So in the story, so that, in that sense, there can be a change too.
Yeah, and what is very funny is that now when I hear my husband talking, or my children, or colleagues from the work, it's so obvious that we are really in a story. We repeat always same thing, and there is a prison, of stories, of words. It's so obvious, and I want to laugh, because I know that, of course, I feel the same here, and but it's really funny. It's so obvious more and more that okay, you repeat always the same thing, and there's nothing actually. It's only concepts. It's only words. It's only nothing, and it's incredible how people can feel it so real, and
Yeah.
and it's sorry, it's funny. It's funny in a way, right?
Mm.
I guess.
Yeah,
But
and
I'm
so,
not
and
feeling
it's
bad anyway,
also
of course, because
no, but it's also very, it's so strong. You can't do anything about it. So it's not about you doing it. It's or somebody else. It's like, oh my God, how strong is that? It's so convincing. And sometimes it's funny, but it's also like, oh my God, it's so wow, how strong is those beliefs are. And somebody said, I'm going to heaven. And then somebody else said, her daughter said, but how do you know? How do I know? It's what? How do you believe that really? How do you know? It's not a belief; it's a fact, and it's like
oh
so. Yeah, it's but there can be such strong beliefs. It's not silly. It's so strong. It's
yeah,
just what's going on, and when that's strong, then that's strong. Yeah.
the death of of all the beliefs,
Mm,
I couldn't.
mm,
How can I say that? I couldn't know that it would go so far,
mm,
because
yeah.
a few, I would say a few weeks ago, because there are so many people, spiritual people, writers, mother, parents, I don't know, who tell you about things and don't believe that and that. But I didn't know that it would go so far. I mean, the
Yeah.
belief is the me, and especially about good and bad. When I heard that, it was maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. It was like my world was collapsing, because good and bad for me was everything,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
was the I don't know how to say that, but in the house it's what I don't know how to support the house. I mean, it was the way we behave with people. It was the love, and all this kind of stuff. And when I heard that from somebody, no, there is no bad and good, so I said, and I was not putting religions, okay, maybe, I don't know, but even that, I mean, you see somebody in the street, he's asking some money. I was always the first one to give, some money, or I was buying a sandwich. And when you realize that actually all those stuff is just, it's not true. It's collapsing, and it hurts. it hurts a lot.
Mm.
Because I don't know, it was the relation between people and love and blah blah blah. And when it collapses, well, it's hard. And after you realize that everything is here, it's the belief is you.
Yeah,
You
and
go,
then
oh,
you get used to it. That's this funny thing. I know that. I remember that. I was like, oh my God, it was so too much nearly. And then somebody said, of Tony Parsons was that, and he said to me, but you get used to it. And that's true. It's very normal, and it's going like that. And then it's not a big deal anymore. And then, yeah, people can say things, and then there's nothing going on about it anymore, like laughing or something. No, that's just how it goes. And yeah, it's getting more like normal. Yeah. But really, when it's just like that, it's like, oh my God, what's going on? It's a lot of concepts you don't, or beliefs you don't even know they are there. That's can be so many. Yeah. Mm. I don't hear you. Have you muted yourself?
yeah, sorry. So I was saying that now that there is kind of resonance that, I mean, it makes no sense. I'm talking about sense. I know that it's not the right concept, but I don't give any more money, because I just don't think it's okay, or I don't know what's the word of that. And you know what?
But it's not your choice. That's the same story again. It's like when there's a lot of seeing going on, there's still that, no, in a way, there's only seeing, and that it's not yet embodied, how do you say, lived in that sense. So it seems like a new way of living, and it's not. That when there's not giving money, that it has no reason. It's just going like that. It doesn't have anything to do with how you think or not think. It's just coming or not coming.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I don't feel guilty. That's what I wanted to tell you. I don't feel
Ah,
guilty
ah,
anymore.
yeah.
Um, I used to not eat pork because of really some moral reasons. And we went with my husband yesterday eat pizza, and they gave me a pizza with pork, and my husband looked at me and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "What's the matter? I mean, nothing happens. So what?" And I'm eating now some pork because I realized that everything is a belief. There is no
Yeah.
substance of this. I was just trapped, in those
Mm,
concepts, in those beliefs, and so on. So everything is collapsing,
mm,
and that's
mm,
it's so easy, Rose, to feel guilty and the shame and so on, and everything
mm,
is just
mm. Yeah.
it. Actually, everything is so free. Just when you see the world, everything is
Mm,
so different, and we I feel no, we are all like, I don't know what's the word
yeah.
of this, but
Yeah.
in prison of truth,
Contracted. Yeah. Yeah.
and suddenly it just I don't know what's the. I realize that everything is just with it, just what's happening, and the belief was so strong, and everything
Mm,
was here. It's wow.
mm. Yeah. Mm.
Well, that's what I wanted to share, and
Yeah.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank
sharing this
you
with us.
for sharing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Go on. Go on. Hi.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hello. How are
Right.
you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
Thank you. It's okay. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
When I hear this message from you and other non-dual speaker and compare it with the night dream, I see it like a night dream. Is there any difference between what's happening here and what happened in the night dream?
That's also a dream, an idea, and it's an appearance, so it's not real. No, so that's the same. Yeah.
So
No,
it's the same, just appearing.
it's an appearance. Yeah. So we think when we in the morning we think, oh, now it's real life. Now it's also an appearance of things going on. Yeah.
Yeah. For example, I was in the dream. Once I was in the dream, and then I woke up from that dream, and I thought it was a dream, and now it's real. And then I woke up again. So the character in the second dream, he thought that he was seeing the first dream,
Yeah.
but he was also not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I compare this dream, those uh, those dreams, uh, it's it's not. I'm not. So it's like the second dream that there is no one here. Also have seen the night dream.
No, there can be seeing that dream or there can be a remembering. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes, in the dream there is also remembering.
Mm.
Because in the second dream, I remember that I saw the first dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
So there is no difference between what's happening here and what happens in the night dream.
I don't know. There's maybe there can be different things happening, but yeah, it's also a dream. It's there's an appearance of things that go on, and they seem real. That's what's the same on the day. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you. There's a chat. If the nighttime dream and daytime dream are both a dream, who's dreaming? No one. There's no one dreaming. It's a way of talking. This is my dream and all that. There's only what's apparently happening, and it seems like a story in the dream, like in the night. But in the day, this also seems like a story happening to me, and things are real. It's also in the daytime, could say. It's a dream. It's that whole. It's apparently what's happening, like tables and streets and bodies, and but that dream, what I'm calling the dream, is that whole idea about this is happening to me, and how can I deal with this, and this is not right. What shall I do, and all that. It's a dream, that thinking I have a free will and everything is happening because I'm doing that or not doing it. The relations and all kind of things. That's a dream. There's only what's apparently is happening, very literally. To no one. There's no center.
Rose, maybe I can ask another
Yeah.
question. In the story, I've heard many people they listen to those communication in YouTube, or they see Tony Parson, and then there is a kind of in the sauna, for instance, a kind of happening that there is no me. The question is, have you ever met people since they were born? Actually, there was not the sense, of me. Have you met, or is it always a story with the me and then the no me? Or do you know people? Have you met people since
No.
they are born? Actually, they do not feel this center.
No, I didn't. No.
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 So this is the individual story.
That doesn't mean it's not happening. I don't know. That's what I remember and what I met, but that doesn't say anything about what's going on, of what if that can happen. I don't know. I don't think so. Mostly it's like there's that contracted energy can happen. It's just already happening, and then suddenly the brain is sophisticated enough, and then there's that abstracting. But maybe there are, but I don't know. I don't know them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rose.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. So I feel I want to. I feel I want to say some words, but I'm not like. I just go with the flow. I don't really know what I'm going to say or want to say.
Yeah.
So I had some thoughts this morning. There were some thoughts, and I would like to talk a bit about it. So before this message sort of I was thinking there's like several sort of stages or so. First you got I was very much more into spirituality, and then I remembered like those people talking about this message. It was like, okay, I really have no clue what I'm going to say. I can put on my camera, by the way. I'm still in my bed. I feel a bit lazy then, like these mornings, and
Yes,
I'm
okay.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't put my camera on, but
No. I don't see a bed, just white.
no, it's not a bed. It's
I'm out. Okay.
you want to see my bed?
No. No.
I know. I have no clue what I was going to say, but I had some thoughts and it made sense when I had them this morning. Okay, something else. I have no clue. I really maybe have to come back later because I have no idea what to say. Yeah, so maybe just a simple question, like if this I can like it seems like that there's like several stages sort of in this message, like it's got fully rejected, and that's always happening by, let's call it the me, like for example. Then there's sort of can be sort of an opening. And I thought about it as being accepted, but not by me, but something hears it, and then it's like it's being heard, and it being heard, it happened once, but it's not by me, but it's like, for example, the sauna thing, it's being heard or seen or whatever by no one, and it's like poof, gone, you know. Totally story wise, you know, because I would say here there's like so much of an opening and so much like everything, but there's not carrying much, but there's still like there's a center like I'm speaking from, but I care less and less about everything, or just about, I don't know. But it's still not like full on okay being heard in a way. Does that make sense? I don't know,
But
it's not really a question, but
it's energetic. So that's
Mhm.
it can be so embodied, those concepts and beliefs and feeling there's something, I should do this, or are about behavior, and this is the right thing, and all that can be so embodied. And when there's a hearing, there's an opening, and then that then it's light in the darkness. It's like light in the darkness. It can't get back anymore because there's already light, and then it's going. It's like how do you say, the head is in the tiger's mouth or something like that. You can't go back anymore. That's something like that. And so the way how it's going can be and there, and it's so different for everybody. So you can't say anything about it. That can be full on and then for a while, and then coming back again. That whole idea about this is still me and all that, because that idea of me is only the feeling, but only is that there's still something not really free, or not really this, or not, and that's me, because me is a belief, an idea, or a misunderstanding. But there's something wrong with what's going on, and it should be or could be like that. And that can be so strong and subtle. It's what it is already. So when there's stress or a feeling of imprisonment or whatever feeling, then that's what's happening. So it can't be not it yet. It's impossible. It's everything. So when there's a feeling or an idea, then that idea is what's happening. If it's right or wrong, I don't know. It doesn't matter. That's giving meaning to it. It's what it is. So they're sitting, and there's maybe a feeling. It's not even in the body or yours, but it's a feeling coming. There's a feeling. What is wrong with a feeling? If it's passing, it has nothing to do with you or anyone. And there can be a tension. Then there's tension. It's not even, the body isn't real, so it's a tension somewhere. So that's what's happening. So it can't be wrong or not it yet, or so that story is out of the window then.
Yeah. There seems to be a tendency, like just what's being heard, like from like a lot of like after being having been in lots of message meetings, that there seems to be a tendency that when this is somehow like heard, or let's call it like there's an openness to this message, that passion becomes passiveness. Not always, but in a lot of people, it becomes like not that there's no more passion anymore, but a lot of like a more, call it passiveness. Like I think Hanifa also asked about it, like what behavior can become more like, it feels like more meaningless. But of course, it's like not like it being meaningless, this message or everything. It doesn't mean that there's like no. I mean, it's neither meaning nor meaningless, right? In a way, it's like both. So sometimes like a lot of passion can come up again, sort of like after a period of like dullness, like it doesn't really matter, and not feeling motivated at all. Like this week it happened again, like wow, so motivated, and like with work and clients, and my brain was there, like the brain was so much like alive. And before that I couldn't even like read, like I can't even read this stuff, like why am I. But that seems to fluctuate as well. It's not this or that, it's like really like everything in that sense. And that sort of gives me then sort of, okay, there's hope is maybe not the right word, but like okay, it really fluctuates, like
But what's going on? What I remember is can go on is what can happen is that when concepts and beliefs and all that is falling away, and the meaning and all that, then can be I'd call it a desert, something like a desert, like not so motivated, just what does it matter and all that. But it's a kind of flat also, and then there's just again, it's more like it's nothing, it's just nothing, but there's not yet that everything, and then suddenly that everything comes to like, oh, it's also everything, and then it falls away like, oh yeah, but then nothing, and so. And then suddenly it's like, oh, but nothing is everything. It's the same. And then it doesn't mean it's all kind of aliveness in the sense of a lot of energy, but it's in everything. It's everything. It doesn't matter what it is. And first it was like, oh, nothing matters and all that, because there's a loss of things. And then there can be like being passive and not seeing the meaning of it. And then suddenly it's also everything. So then, the aliveness is there's only aliveness then, but it doesn't mean it's a lot of energy. The aliveness is also sitting like that. There's still aliveness, or still, I don't know how to say it. Still alive. It's not passive anymore. Then.
No, it's like you can like stop working or setting all your businesses, or you can start new businesses. It's like
sure.
It's so
really, sure. Yeah.
There's nothing really to say about it.
No, it can go anywhere, and it doesn't matter. This is not about circumstances or how to behave. That's so much that we have so many ideas about what will happen when. Then there's no. Somebody said there's no fear anymore. Of course, it's not mine. Fear is happening, so of course it can be felt. It's everything. So you can't say, and there can be circumstances, all kind of circumstances. That's energetic, so I don't know what will happen. Of course not. Yeah, it's free fall. It's just going, and it's not real. But it doesn't mean that you all day think, oh, it's not real, so it doesn't matter. That's only a concept that may be losing that meaning, but no, it's just living. It's the freedom. When there nothing is real, nothing matters. It's like, but it's not like nothing matters. It's like nothing matters because it's everything. So it's full on. Everything is full on.
Yeah, that's what you can sometimes they say, like nothing's happening. It's like you can say it in two ways, like nothing is happening or nothing is happening,
Yeah.
That's what you said, like nothing matters, like, or nothing matters.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. Wow.
Yeah. That's it.
That's
Yeah, but that's
crazy.
it. Yeah. That's the difference, and that's the energetic part. It's not in the words. It's something else.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But also in the words, you can. It's like a
Yeah.
bit. It's funny,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because nothing always in the mind of like
Yeah.
in the mind of me is always like, oh, nothing. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's like it must be something.
Yeah.
Must be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Nothing is awful, and nothing is just. We don't want that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even like, what have you done today? Yeah, nothing. That's like in the culture is like, what? Are you serious?
Or you don't know. That's also awful. That can also not happen.
Are you still sitting in bed at 11:30 or
Yeah.
49? And you don't want
Yeah.
to,
Oh
and
my
you don't want
God.
to, and you don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
It's culture. It's conditioning.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of culture things that's going on. That can be different. That's also funny. That different cultures have different ideas.
Yeah.
It's so funny also. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The word culture comes up, but it's like a bit of a wordplay. But culture, guilt. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's like all the
Yeah.
cult, even cult. Yeah, it's a cult in a way, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, what is a cult? It's just a bundle of beliefs, That's it, but that's everything.
But that's
Yeah.
everywhere. It's there. There's
Yeah.
so many beliefs and concepts and ideas and God. And it's not even, you don't even realize how it's so full of that. It's just amazing how it's so normal also. So it's not even noticed, of course. Yeah.
No. Anyway, I now broke through and I can put my camera on every Saturday
Yeah.
morning.
Now can you do it?
Yeah.
Finally.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roos.
Right. Yeah.
Then there's a chat.
I see. So no need to change anything, like trying to stop the war. No, there's no, you can't, because there's no one. There's no one in the war. There's only what's happening. And that's what's happening. It's not what's happening in another country. There is no other country. That's also a construct, that we have a lot of information about other countries, but it's an imagination about what's going on. This is everything. There's no outside. Also no inside. That's all abstracting what's going on. It's very literally this. And when we can abstract, we think like, oh, there's outside because I remember the street, and then I'm sure that when I go out, there will be that street. And that abstracting and all those concepts that give, you could say that's a kind of safe, that you know the world, you know what's going on, you know what's that, and you have a lot of idea, this is right and this is wrong. It gives a bit like hold and safe. This is free fall. This not knowing, no idea about what's going on. It can be anything. All I hear this morning is blah, blah, blah. Lots of love. Okay. Lots of words. Can be. That not only the words, there's something else going on too. Mm.
I have a comment, Rose.
Yeah.
Just because you said right now that there are a lot of beliefs everywhere, and
Yeah.
I remember that when I was watching some videos about Indians, you say that Indians from Amazonia, you say that?
What? Indians?
Yeah. And for me, it was kind of reference. They were better than people individuals who live in our society, because they live in the nature and they respect.
All that. Yeah.
And I was watching those videos, and what I could notice is that there was no, they didn't have this eye that we have, watching all the time what we do, and I feel shame, I feel good. I thought that when I was watching to the videos, but now I think that there are also a lot of beliefs, because actually when those individuals, people talk, they talk about the feel of the nature, the wind, of the I don't know, of everything. When you watch this kind of videos, they protect the children very very strong, because they think that they are kind of spirits and so on. So the beliefs are really everywhere. That's what
Yeah.
what
And
I
it's happening to them. It's feeling I'm here, and then there's living in nature, and everything is happening. That's so there. Yeah, there are a lot of beliefs about what's. Yeah, it's everywhere the same. It's some people seems more close to nature, and that seems better. We have a lot of It's also an idea about what's better. Yeah,
what's better.
there's so many ideas. It's not, no, it's like living in the town and walking behind a car. It's what's happening. There's no choice. There's no one. So there's that. Then that's what's happening. It's that. We think we have a choice, and this would be the best and that not. And it's always like that. That's me. It's, yeah, it can't be different. That's how me lives,
Always
thinks.
comparing, always
Yeah, of
comparing,
course.
and
Yeah.
there's nothing to compare. It's just this,
No,
it's just
that's,
that, and
yeah. And it's everything. That's the freedom. It's that it's everything. Because the comparing is always, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Or I'm in the wrong queue. I'm not satisfied. There's not dissatisfaction. There's something going on. That's part of me. That's always, so that's a drive to feel better and to go somewhere or to try or to whatever. And then when it's everything, and suddenly it's like, oh, but it's everything, then there's nowhere to go. That's the freedom. Doesn't have anything to do with circumstances. No. That's the freedom. And what's also, when there's me, there's always looking at it and thinking or feeling like, oh, this is right, or what do I feel about it? Is this right? Is this wrong? Do I like it? It's not about you. Nothing is about you. It's what's happening. Tension. Yeah.
there is a sentence that was written by someone who apparently lost the center.
It's very difficult to hear you. Can you something louder?
Maybe I can. Yeah,
What?
can you hear me better?
No, it's even worse. No, it's not.
It's not better.
Uh,
Doesn't matter. No
yeah,
problem.
now it's
Doesn't
better.
matter. It's better. Okay.
Now it's better. Yeah.
Uh, I read a few weeks ago from someone who lost the center, as we say.
Yeah.
We are not different from stones or insects, and it
Mm.
was so impacting for me. It was so shocking, but
Mm.
it was resonating. It was so wow.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that it was so wow,
Yeah.
for the
There's
me
no
it's
difference. Yeah.
wow. It's something just how can you say that, but it
Ah.
resonates.
Yeah. It's
It resonates
one.
a lot.
So everything is one. We think it's two. So I am here and that is there, and this is more alive than a stone, and all that comparing. And there's only one, then that's all energy in a different way, or tables and a hand or that. So it's one soup. There's nothing more important than anything else. It's just one. It's only one. But it can be suddenly like, oh yeah, this is about loss. It's not like trying to understand and then seeing it. This is about loss. So there can be some concepts like everything is separated, and I see this and that, and suddenly there's some concepts you don't know how that happens. Can be, I don't know. It suddenly can happen on the bus stop or somewhere, and then suddenly it's like, oh, there's no distance. How could I believe that? Oh yeah, yes, it's sure, but yeah, or there's no world, or anything can happen. It's a loss of concepts or beliefs which are very strong, and then suddenly it's like, oh, so it's not about trying to get it. It's the other way around. It's like a lot, but a loss you can't do. So, and there's nothing wrong with beliefs, but when then the beliefs are not there, it's suddenly seeing like, oh, it's different. Seeing the world in a different way.
Rose?
Yeah.
Something about cause and effect I heard like this week. But I was like, for me that was like, wow, yeah, that makes sort of sense, you know. Like if you have a billiard, is that a word? Billiard ball, and another one, it touches the other one, and we then say like the narrative in our heads is like, oh, that ball touched the other one, you know, like that's cause and effect. But if we drop the narrative, like it's just movement then, you know, like if there's no story about it, there's just there's only movement. It's not like the wind touches that leaf there, but there's just movement happening, and that's with everything, you know, like, and that for me was like, wow, yeah, there is no, it's just like movement. Everything is just movement, apparent movement.
Yeah.
Made total sense, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like
and,
it, yeah.
and that's about that loss. That then suddenly, because when there's that belief, everything is like cause and effect, and then suddenly it's not that strong. That's suddenly seeing it in a different way. Yeah.
Like even like it started sort of like, even it was like, I don't know what levels, but logically, like even logically it makes total sense, because it's all just one big story. Oh, I did it, this is because of that. Oh, I feel this because of this. It's like endless, and it all started with like Adam and Eve, you know, like it's like endless. It's an endless story.
Yeah. But it's always assuming that it's because when you said that and I feel pain, that's because of you, something like that.
Yeah.
How do you know? It's just assuming that it's because that was before. So it's just it's always like it's an idea. No, it has nothing to do with anything. But wow, that's so convincing, and seems the normal way. Yeah. So that's the dream of guilt and responsibility and consequences and all that already. And not even talking about the leaves of the tree, but more also in the story of people, like what's going on there. Yeah.
and it's so automatic, you know. If you feel like, if like, I don't know, the notice of hunger comes up, oh, eating happens, you know, like but it happens automatically, you know.
Yeah, or not.
Or not,
Or
yeah,
not, can
or
be.
sitting or hunger,
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
and
yeah, of
nothing
course,
happens. Can
yeah.
also be like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then when it's suddenly seen in a lot of things. Like, oh my God, it's like that. Whoa, that's amazing. So there's nothing before or after. There are no relations in that. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Rose.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
It's only this. It's new. It's this, a hand, sitting, a chair. It's when there's closing the computer, then the closing is it. There's nothing that can't be it. It's everything. So it's everything. There can be tension, then there's tension. It's not even in the body. And when there's a feeling, oh yeah, but it is in the body, then there's a feeling or a belief or being sure it's in the body. Then that's what's happening. There's nothing wrong with anything. That's an idea of right and wrong. It's what it is. It's what it is. So there's nowhere to go. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's what it is. So, and there's also not looking for no me or something. That becomes the new thing, that going to non-duality meetings and looking for no me. Now it's, oh, that's the end. That will be the end of suffering or anything. There is already no me. So meeting is going nowhere. It's endless. It's what it is already. That's the unconditional love. It's unconditional. Life is unconditional love. It's unconditional. There are no rules. It's chaotic. It's everything. So it's unconditional. That's. Thank you. Thank you. Oh God. Hmm. I don't know.